excited about this video series.
We're going to interview some awesome homeschool moms. Chips and Salsa, two homeschool moms bringing you some fun, practical, encouraging tips.
If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel and hit that bell button so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos.
Today,
we're so excited.
We are interviewing a homeschool mom.
And she was also homeschooled.
You don't find a lot of those.
No. So she's a wealth of information, and we've been picking her brain every chance we get, and we get to pick her brain in front of you today.
Yes.
So let's bring her in.
Welcome, Laena.
Yay!
Woo! Hi. Hey, welcome. So we film in a van while the kids are doing sports or other things. So you know we gotta. This is our curtain.
I love it. I love it.
Well, this is video 1 of our Mother's Day series, which we're only doing a couple videos, but we just really wanted to highlight some moms that we truly admire and moms that can bring you some amazing tips.
Yes, so we really hope you tune in and enjoy. So This is our new friend, Laena. Hi. Well, as I've said before, homeschool moms are awesome, and you should ask them questions whenever you can. And so we recently joined this PE class, and Laena just happened to be in the PE class. Her kids are in the PE class too, and so we hit it off, and we've just been enjoying talking with her.
I've loved talking to you guys too. Yeah. I just love it. I love your enthusiasm for life in general, but especially homeschooling. It's just such an important energy to put out there.
Yeah.
You do with your videos. I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
Well, can you give us just a brief intro to who you are, your experience with homeschooling?
Yeah. So I am a homeschool graduate, so I get the title of a second-generation homeschooler here. I am a product of the 1980s homeschool movement, inspired by John Holt. And it's amazing now as a homeschool mom myself to look back at what my mom and her peers were going through to really establish the homeschool scene for us. It just is amazing. I just have so much respect for my mom going through all that. That's amazing.
So awesome. Yeah, because now it's seen, I think it's a lot more common than it was.
Oh, for sure. And in the 80s in Southern California, it wasn't legal. It wasn't illegal, but there was no protection whatsoever. So those pioneering mothers had to help form the legislation that our state would adopt, even for filing our own affidavits and everything.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
What were your mom's reasons for homeschooling you?
My sister has dyslexia, and we were in a private Christian school initially, and the school said they wouldn't be able to teach her. So my mom went to the public school and enrolled her, and the public school said they wouldn't be able to teach her. And my mom thought that was ridiculous. That she was very teachable, and my mom knew in her heart and gut that she could teach her. And
so awesome.
Yeah, amazing. And pulled her out. And that first year, I'm one of 6 kids. I'm the oldest. I was still in school. My mom had my sister, who comes next, and at that time 2 little brothers. And they were going to the museums, they were going to the zoo, they were doing all these wonderful things while I sat in a classroom. And I would come home and say, "Where did you go? You got to do that?"
You're like, can I please
Yes, yeah. So I was home the following year. Now I am homeschooling my kids, and I have 4 kids. I have graduated my oldest, so I have a 25 and a 21-year-old, and then I have an 8 and a 5-year-old. So
that's so amazing, which is why we're picking her brain so much, because we're gonna have 8th graders next year, and we're like, we need to start thinking about high school, and so that's a whole new different world, and
it's a wonderful
love
world.
What you've seen. Yeah, you've been so encouraging about that, and so that's been where I'm really excited.
Yes, me too.
High school, I feel like, is where you see the fruits of your labor.
Yeah.
You get to see these really strong, independent thinking children just bloom in front of your eyes. And the subject matters that they're interested in are amazing and fun to explore.
Looking back, what, if anything, do you wish was different about your homeschool experience that you took into being a homeschool mom
That's hard to say. I think that probably has changed since being a parent. So I try to look at both of those things as I parent. So pre-parent self would say, I wish there were more opportunities socially for teenagers in the homeschool community. Now that I'm parenting and the community has changed so much just because there's so many homeschoolers now, there are more opportunities. But I also see it's because I wasn't so busy with more traditional teen activities that I was really involved in the community. I was volunteering, I was in community theater, not youth theater, but in real theater. I was doing things that other kids didn't have the opportunity because maybe they were in teen programs. And so I see now that that was actually an advantage.
You're just being a real person.
Yeah.
Not like,
Right. And I had my own business, and so I was a professional clown.
Really? As a teenager?
Yeah.
Aw,
I was.
that's so awesome.
Yeah, so I did that too, and kept busy. And
That's so great. See? But that's amazing.
What are some things that your mom did that you felt like, I have to do this when I become a homeschool mom?
Actually, it goes to my field trip journals even. When we would go on field trips, we always had clipboards.
Oh, yeah.
And we were taking notes, and we had great conversations after our field trips. It was something that was really just so enriching in our homeschool experience. I also just think the way my mom takes on her day, I've continued on in my own life. She gets up before everybody else. She has her quiet time in the morning to find focus, to have her own thoughts.
Just
And
good
then go-
discipline practices.
Yeah.
So as a homeschool mom, what are some of your greatest moments of success where you really felt accomplished?
The actual moment of graduation is pretty overwhelming. I mean, bawling, mascara running down the face.
I did it!
Yes. It's like no other.
Yeah.
It's like no other. But, it's also so rewarding to just be able to talk to your adult children and have them say, Mom, remember when you did that? I see now why you did that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Just little things I think are, from another adult perspective, is what really is so rewarding.
Because they really appreciate it at that point.
Yeah.
And then when they have kids, I'm assuming they're going to appreciate it even more.
That's right.
Yes.
So
That's right.
I my daughter tells me, oh, I'm going to homeschool my kids. She's absolutely convinced about that. Is that how you were?
Nope.
No? You
Nope.
never thought you were going to homeschool your kids?
No, I wasn't even 100% convinced I'd have kids, so...
Oh, okay.
I was really career focused, and then met my husband and knew that's what we're going to get married, and I'd always wanted to adopt kids, and so had he. And so we adopted our daughters, and I just couldn't see doing anything else but homeschooling. So we had them at home, and we homeschooled for a while, but we adopted our girls from Russia when they were 11 and 7. And it was a need for them to be in a social setting of school. So we were in school for about 16 months and then back home again.
Are there any mistakes you feel like, man, I wish I had done this differently? That you
Every day.
Yes.
Well, any things you think, okay, I'm not going to do that with the boys.
I have thought that, but then I've done it with the boys. So it's like, I don't know what good that is.
It goes.
Yeah,
I mean, even
it
us, we
is.
record our videos and then we watch them, we're like, yeah, that's a really good idea.
Take our own advice.
Yes.
I mean, really, that's what homeschooling is, right? It's
It
a
is.
daily journey
Absolutely.
of repentance. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
We're trying to really create an individualized academic experience
Yeah.
for an ever-changing human.
Yeah.
I mean, that's almost an
That's really what
impossible
it is.
task.
It is.
Because we can start out in September thinking
Totally.
that this curriculum is absolutely what our child needs. It's just right on target. And by January, our child has changed and developed and is way beyond it.
Right.
And we have to move on to something else.
So this is a businesswoman,
Yes,
and
she is.
she has created these beautiful field trip journals that she has on sale at Amazon.com.
Tell us about them, Laena.
There we go.
We'll hold them up for you while you tell us about it.
All right, so there's 4 different levels, and from preschool all the way up to high school. And what I did with my girls is I would hand make field trip journals for them, and then they would fill them out after we went on different field trips. I really feel like field trips are the icing on the homeschool cake. And who wants cake without icing?
Right?
Not me.
Yeah, they really are. They're essential for our kids to stay engaged and enthusiastic about their homeschooling, and for us as moms to have that opportunity to engage with our kids in different community experiences. And having a field trip journal, something that's simple enough for the kids to want to journal, the prompts to be fun and engaging enough for them, it creates a lifetime habit of journaling, first of all.
That's nice.
And it also creates a keepsake of your year. Some of my girls' field trip journals are my most prized possessions. To see their handwriting develop over the course of a year, over 4 years, over 6 years, it really is touching. To see how my 4th or 5th grader views the Museum of Art compared to when she's in 11th grade.
Right.
It's,
You see the progress.
Oh my gosh, now that's a homeschool mom payday.
Okay, so she was
Which
talking
level
about,
do you have?
this is a level.
This is Navigator, so this is probably 4th to 8th.
Okay.
So, I mean, check this out. Little fun prompts. Look how, so it's not like your typical, write 3 sentences and write me a paper about
no,
what you did.
so I think I have the first level, right?
yes.
Adventure level. So this would be for
fun.
your kindergartner.
That's right.
It's so awesome. It even has my lunch or snack today. Is that so cute?
Because everybody likes to know what they're eating,
So you
right?
have 5 adjectives that describe today, something that I
So
don't
this
want
is
to
the
forget.
Highest level?
No.
Or this is the same one, the 4th? to
This
the
is
8th?
the high school one. This is
Oh,
really
okay.
near and dear to my heart.
Oh,
Because like we were talking about
yes.
earlier, for high schoolers, a lot of times when you're going out on these field trips, they can really disconnect because maybe there's a bunch of little kids there
Right.
and they feel like it's not about them, and
Right.
really I think field trips, no matter who else is on the field trip with them, is such a gem of an opportunity for our high schoolers because they're seeing behind the scenes of how their community works, seeing what the community has to offer, and those are important things for high schoolers to be engaged in. So with the high school level one, we take a career exploration focus. So
I remember you saying that. I love that.
so wherever you're visiting for your field trip, their goal is to engage with the docent and really learn and understand what does it take to work at the aquarium. What's the field of study I need to go into for that.
Yes.
It's so interesting. And
So
there's
I love the
also-
connections. Yeah, connect this trip historically, globally, and academically. I love that. And these are so well made too. I'm
Thank
feeling
you.
this.
Oh yeah, the cover is so
When I first got the covers to
Lovely.
choose, I just kept feeling it.
yes, it's so lovely
nice.
suede, Philly.
Yeah, it's like leather a little bit.
Oh,
Oh, I'm so glad you appreciate it.
Well, we're definitely going to get these
Oh,
for our
definitely.
kids next
So-
year because they're amazing.
but also I just wanted to show that the boxes aren't huge. Like I
No.
think that's another thing. It's like,
Yes.
oh mom, you're asking so much.
That's
Like,
right. That's right. And you don't want it to
small.
create a chore, right?
Right.
They just want to go have fun because that's what I
Yes.
get when I'm like, okay, I want you to write this. Oh, do we have to? But if you give them like a fun scavenger
And I think
hunt,
everyone has something fun. Like even how she has the date.
Yeah.
Like you circle the month and the
Yeah.
day.
Right.
Like even like filling in the date is
Yeah.
fun.
Right.
Right. Okay, another thing that we loved about Laena, like we already mentioned, were the scrapbooks. So these are really,
They're beautiful.
Amazing.
Well, I love sharing them.
tell us what your thought process was to even starting the scrapbooks. Like what, how did you even come up with the idea?
I wanted my kids to be able to have a creative experience in their school. And as we tackled all of the academic subjects, for them to be able to express what they learned creatively. So that was the start of trying to figure out what we would do. And then, I don't know, it just was divine inspiration.
Yeah, that's so
to
cool.
do the scrapbooks.
So you were telling us that you actually laid out kind of the idea for them at the beginning of
Yes.
the year, and then you would give them a rubric for each page.
Yes,
right?
yes. So we would start out, there's a book per year, so I just count how many pages we had. And then as I was making my lessons plans for the years and just looking over what topics we'd be covering, kind of picking out which topics would be good scrapbook pages, I
Right.
thought. And I would write out 8 to 10 that they would have to do and then create the rubrics for them. But then they also had opportunities to create their own, to pick a book, to do a book report, scrapbook report on. So.
And then you would mix up a writing project with
Yes.
maybe a more creative.
Yep. I would try to mix some of the more boring topics. I have an example of my daughter's economic page. She was, I think, 10th grade economics. It's kind of a dry subject.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, but creating a scrapbook report out of it let her think creatively through a topic that's so dry, and she really got so much out of it because she was creating the project. So this is my daughter in 7th grade's report, the Anglo-Saxons, doing world history here. It's such a good opportunity for my girls. We would go to Michael's or Joann's. They'd pick out scrapbook paper even that matched the theme of their page. So they were really visualizing aesthetically what their topic entailed. This was a biology
Love that.
report.
So nice.
It's amazing too how they retain the information when they're doing a fun, creative project about it.
Oh, look at all
So
this
this
art.
Princess
was a
Diana.
biography report, on Princess Diana. And so I would utilize timelines a lot in the rubrics, creating timelines. Of course, you learn so much about someone's life or historical event. Yeah, and you know, it's hard in high school to keep things fun.
Right.
It's so easy to look at the amount of work that the requirements say we have to do and really fall into the drudgery of day-to-day lessons and forget to continue to enrich our kids' lives. Here they are in the sweet spot of their education and blossoming. We really want to make sure we teach them to also value creativity and still have enriching experiences with them.
Yeah.
It's so important.
Is there any other pages that you really want to show us?
Well, this is a fun one. This is the themes in
Oh,
literature,
that is awesome.
illustrated by Disney movies. So, you know, picking something that, a movie that shows climax and then defining what climax is in literature. And
That's
then finding a
amazing.
movie that matches. This is one of my favorites, just because this was so enriching. This whole lesson in literature
that's
was
so
so
great.
fun. And such a different approach in high school. Again, it could have been so dry.
Right.
It could have been drudgery, but it was really great.
It's important to note that she just didn't, go rogue on the system. No, she actually, followed the standards, but you just made it creative. You thought outside of the box.
Yeah, like a homeschooler.
We're going to wrap it up, and we thank you so much for being with us. So
Yeah,
can
thank
you leave our viewers with like one piece of advice that you have? Like if you had one opportunity to give a homeschool mom one piece of advice, what would it be?
These years are going to go by quickly. So take the time to take experiences and adventures with your kids. Make memories, not just a frustration around the kitchen table doing math, but make memories out on a trail, make memories at a museum. Take the time. That's what your kids will remember.
Well, we want to say Happy Mother's Day to you awesome, wonderful moms.
You moms are going the extra mile.
Yeah.
And we want to say that we're proud of you. And God is proud of you too.
Yes.
Okay, break out the tissues, ladies. Till next time. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and share it with all the other homeschool moms that you know.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.